Hi, and welcome to Why It Happened Breach Breakdown. In this episode, Lumma Stealer. So, Lumma Stealer has been around for a while now. It was first documented in detail, as far as I'm aware, in May 2025, but it's used by quite a lot of attacks as a mechanism, as one of the technologies behind it. And I think it's worth understanding what it does, because that allows us to think about how it can be used in a broader context. And it attacks Windows machines, is the first thing we should say. As far as I'm aware, there's no exact equivalent for other machines like Macintosh, Apple, Linux, or Android, anything like that. And what it is an info stealer malware. And what do we mean by info stealer malware? It is malware. It's bad code. It's malicious code, which it goes out to steal information. So not all malware is the same. Malware can try to trash what you're doing. It could try to stop you doing certain things. But this particular malware grabs information and sends it back to malicious actors. And that is bad, because the sort of information it's stealing is private information. It may be financial information, healthcare data, or just personal information like passwords. But we've seen Lumma Stealer used a lot, specifically for stealing financial data. And what's interesting about Lumma Stealer is that it's malware as a service. So it's designed by some bad actors, and the group that it's generally associated with is Storm 2477, which is a group of malicious actors. For them to provide a service in the same way that legitimate companies provide a service, like I know Microsoft provides Office 365, or any other type of service like Google Cloud or Spotify. These are all services, right? But in this case, this group is providing a service for bad actors that they can hire and they can pay for, and it will provide this information. Let me explain why that works and how it works. Because what this info stealer malware is doing is grabbing this information, and it needs to do something with it. And it transmits it back to a set of servers, command and control infrastructure it's known as, which is run typically by Storm 2477, and then is given, based on payment, presumably, to the people who have paid for the service. So the information is being collected. So again, presumably these bad actors can say, this is the type of information I want from these types of users. Please set it up, and when you get it, give it to me. So Storm 2477 runs a number of servers, and the information is received there and stored and then put on. But of course, the core piece of work has to happen actually on the computer. I say of course, but in this case, that's what it is, this type of malware. It is a binary file, and it is somehow got onto a user's machine. And we'll talk on another videos about how that works. The point here is that once it's on that computer, it hides itself. And it's actually a very difficult piece of malware to find and to get into. And what it does is it injects itself into things it should be fine in, things like legitimate system processes, so things that you'd expect to be running on your machine, and it basically puts itself inside those executables, inside those binaries, and hides itself within them. So you're running something which, as you'd expect, does all the right things, but also some bad things are happening as well. And the sorts of things it's doing is it's looking at information specifically from things like browsers based on Chromium and Mozilla, which includes Microsoft Edge as it happens. And it steals the information that it sees. So it will steal browser credentials, passwords, cookies, autofill information. So all the things that you need as you're logging into your bank, for instance, or maybe Amazon or something like that. It's taking that information. It's also looking for information like crypto wallet information. So if you use cryptocurrencies at all, it could be stealing that information. But it goes beyond that. It looks at applications such as email clients, VPNs that you might use to log into work, and can take the information from that as well. It'll go through user documents like Word files, and it also really quite cleverly looks at your system and says and can steal that information as well. And why would that be interesting? Well, they might say, well, we noticed that there are more and more people using this type of graphics card. So maybe if there's a vulnerability found in that graphics card in the future, they can use that to do bad things. And so, as I said, there's a broad set of different things it could be stealing. And that's really worrying. And of course, as I said, it's malware as a service, so it may be that one particular instance of this will only be looking for crypto wallet information. Another one would only be looking for autofill passwords or VPNs. Or maybe all of that's being stolen. It's being stolen from your machine, and then only parts of it are being fed to different people who have hired this service or paid for this service. This has been around for quite a while now. I said around May 2025 is the earliest that I found a reference to it, certainly the analysis. And it's got onto your machine in various different ways. And as I said, it's obfuscated to make it more difficult to find. So what can you do? Well, the first thing to do is it's about defending against the problem. And there are a number of techniques. Most important of all is to ensure that you're using an antivirus software package on your machine that is going to stop this. It's going to see it if it's there and hopefully remove it. So stop, find, remove. These are the three things we want to do, right? And there are a number of other things you could do, like add multi-factor authentication in certain cases that may be useful, and also Microsoft provides what it called hunting queries, which, so if you're running an organization, you can look to find out when this is on your network, because as I said, this data needs to be sent back to the servers, the command and control servers, and the way it's done is in particular ways. It's hidden in particular ways to look like, for instance, Telegram, the messaging app, communications, but there are ways of spotting when that's happening, and that's something that you can do. And then you can identify, of course, which machines it's doing, and hopefully block access to the command and control infrastructure from the rest of your network. But of course, that's one of the problems with these things, that the command and control infrastructure also moves around. So it's a nasty thing. It's used in lots of different ways, and it's very difficult for a standard user to necessarily know it's on their network or on their machine. You absolutely should be running appropriate mechanisms like Microsoft Defender or antivirus of various types to spot these, and always make sure that your defenses, your antivirus, etc. are up to date. If you've got questions about this or any other thing, please subscribe to the channel. Get in touch. I'll do what I can to help. Thanks.